We found the situation to be here. Numerous electrical violations, plumbing that didn't work in the hotel, a fire suppression and fire alarm system that was actually disconnected and entirely inoperable. We're very glad that we're able to shut this down rather than have some type of an emergency such as a fire where many people could have and probably would have lost their lives. We're going to make sure that we go after all of these bad properties, whether it's a hotel or an apartment or even just a residential property that a landlord or an owner has allowed or chosen to let deteriorate to the point to where it is entirely uninhabitable and just simply not safe for a person to live in. And we're happy to work with law enforcement in this regard as well, and make sure that they protect us as our civilian workforce does their job. We're really grateful for that. Thank you.
Could you spell your name really quickly?
Yes, Alanvarela.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, and this has also been a target location for the Organized Crime Commission, which is county and state and our DA, and he's going to speak more to the work on that, our District Attorney, Sam Bregman.
Good afternoon. First of all, shout out to all the law enforcement agencies and officers that have worked this location and locations around this area for over a year now. And as chairman of the Organized Crime Commission, I can tell you this has been on the radar of the OCC. Agents have been having some of these places under surveillance. I can tell you that this hotel behind us right here was a cesspool for criminal activity, whether or not it was prostitution, drug trafficking, retail crime, shootings, people getting hurt here, people being trafficked here, sex trafficked. This place had to be shut down, and I applaud the mayor and code enforcement and all law enforcement who have worked a long time on these issues. And we go back a year looking at our case files at the DA's office, and we can see the impact on crime this particular location has had, and it has been significant. So I want to applaud the law enforcement, the City of Albuquerque, Bernalillo County Sheriff's Department, and the Organized Crime Commission for the work that was done on getting us to today. And hopefully, when this hotel comes back, in whatever capacity it does, the criminal element will be gone. Thank you.
Okay, and our Chief of Police, Harold Medina.
Good afternoon, everybody. I just want to thank everybody for being out here. You know, in October, we had a press conference and we talked about the first location that we were able to address, the Kiwa Lodge. And from then we moved to another location, and a couple weeks ago we stood in front of Bow and Arrow and I talked about the fact that we had more hotels in the pipe, and I'm going to tell you that again. We have more hotels in the pipe. We've learned that there are two things that we could successfully do to lower crime in the city of Albuquerque. Is when we devote resources to Central Boulevard, blocks north, blocks south, we see results, we see reductions in crime. I want to thank the Bernalillo County Sheriff's Department, New Mexico State Police, and the DA's office for everything they're doing to assist us on East Central. And what has that done? That has enabled us to move resources to West Central, and we are now conducting more arrests along Central than we ever have in any other period of time. So we will continue this recipe of closing down nests of crime, closing down hotels that are drivers of crime, and continuing to devote resources to take people to jail along Central. I also want to thank all of the community who has been patient with us as we work through these processes, and thank all the individual officers who are out here every day doing the actual work. And just to kind of give you a glimpse into the results that we're seeing citywide because of these types of operations, as of yesterday, year to date, the key property crimes, residential burglary, commercial burglary, auto theft, and shoplifting are down 44% year to date. Violent crime, key categories, sexual assault, robbery, ag assaults are down 19%. Homicides are down 50% for the year, and a lot of this has to be attributed to the fact that we are now combining resources better than ever The DA's office is doing the best job I've seen in 7 years in prosecuting cases and getting people detained. The jail population has grown over the last 2 years. And as long as we keep this going forward, we continue to work together. We continue to put as many people as we can. And begin to hold people accountable and not get taken out by anything that's flying around the neighborhood. We will continue to have success. So I just want to once again just thank all the officers who work day in and day out. We had undercover officers here. At one point in time, we had 7 search warrants that needed to be executed at the same time. The sheriff's department stepped up. They offered their SWAT team. Things kind of worked out, and we didn't need all those resources. But it's a continued combined effort that is going to help us to continue to make a difference in the city of Albuquerque. Thank you.
Now also, we want to hear from Sergeant from BCSO. Sergeant.
Good afternoon. My name's Daniel Skartwood, S-K-A-R-T-W-E-D. I'm a sergeant with the Bernalillo County Sheriff's Office Metro Unit. I'm accompanied by Lieutenant Marujo and our case agent, Noah Chavez. Like everybody said, it's a collaborative effort between all agencies, from OCC, DA's office, APD, BCSO, and code enforcement. This was not a we or them, it was an us project, and I think it was successful. We had multiple arrests, secured a firearm, including felonies, felony warrants, possession charges of narcotics, trafficking charges of narcotics. Overall, I think it was a great success, and I think it's bridging some gaps between our agencies, and I think in the future we can all work together and produce more good work like this. Thank you.
Tim, you want to do questions?
All right. Do we have any questions?
Yeah, Tamara Lopez, KOB.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there a list of hotels that you guys plan to target, or is it just on a case-by-case basis?
Obviously, they're not very undercover operations if we tell the public what we're targeting, but mark my word, there will be more information coming up in the next couple of weeks and beyond that. So we will continue to target the locations that data tells us issues are occurring at. Obviously, we're not going to tell the public where those are at, but we will continue, and you will continue to see press conferences and results like this.
All right. Next question.
For Gorilla, how many, in terms of numbers, violations are at this property?
Dozens and dozens. We're still preparing the report and getting the tally for that. All of that will be made available, and we should have that report fully compiled by sometime next week. We also have recent reports that came in from the Fire Rescue Department regarding their observations as well, but quite a few.
You have a question?
I do have a question, sir. We sit here and we talk about what the city has done, what everybody has done to fight the issues that we have with drugs and alcohol. I'm a resident of this area, and let me tell you, this area is horrible. Yes, you shut down this motel today, but what is the next step? You're giving residents, or you're giving the homeless vouchers to live in these places. If we don't have nothing, we don't give them no resources for these people that struggle with mental health and struggle with this true issue. And as an individual myself that struggles with mental health, what are we doing as a city? What are we doing to combat that? And what are we offering? And now we're taking away insurances, we're taking away a lot of things to help these people. We don't do nothing. I walked this block last night with my dog, and literally as they were shutting this place down, I was called the aggressor, and I didn't do anything. I was walking with my dog, and these guys are smoking fentanyl right here on the street, wanting to jump me, 9 of them, and I got told to leave. Get out. This is my neighborhood. I've lived here for 21 years. And yes, do I believe that you guys have done well? Maybe you made strides, but no, I do not believe in this area that you've made big steps. I don't believe that it's right. I believe that these people that with mental health issues have more rights than I do as a regular citizen that doesn't do anything. I work every day. I have 3 kids, and these guys are doing drugs and doing everything that they want, and they walk in and out of jail, and there's nothing happening. Where's our law? Where is? I know law enforcement is working their ass off. I know, but where is our city councilors? Where's everybody stepping up to put laws into effect that say, "Hey guys, we need to put these guys behind bars, or we need to hold them longer, or we need to do something different." And not only that, I'm talking about adults. Let's talk about children. Let's talk about children where they're not even protecting our children. Our children, our schools, these guys are going, these kids have guns everywhere. Never even heard of that before. I'm 44 years old. These kids are 19, 18, 17, 16. Guns everywhere. There's guns out of control. And nobody could control it. Nobody can control it. And not only that, there's no consequence behind it. They get in trouble at West Mesa. They get in trouble at Rio Grande. They get in trouble at Volcano Vista. What happens? Oh, probation, 6 months. If I walk down the street and I get a public intoxication, I'm dealing with a crazy amount of issues, and that's not fair. That's not fair. These children are. There's no consequences. My name's Thomas.
Thomas, thank you.
Let us address those.
Please do.
And Thomas, we greatly appreciate the input from the neighborhood. That's what it's all about, is helping improve the neighborhood, not only in the short run, but in the long run as well. You're going to hear a bit more from APD regarding law enforcement, and we have the DA's office here, as well as the sheriff's office, and they really are the people to be answering those questions. You'll also be hearing from Albuquerque Community Safety, our ACS director, about the resources that are provided for people that need help with either health care, mental health care, or housing, of course.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, sure. Well, I'll try and catch him a little bit to specifically answer. But I think I have hope for 2 things. Number one, that is exactly why we're shutting this down. You cannot address homelessness, you cannot address crime without dealing with stuff like this hotel. So this is the biggest single step we have taken to fight crime in this area in a decade. And yeah, we need more of it, and we're doing it. But we took that step today. That's something that hasn't happened in a decade. Second thing is, there's a whole lot of the legislature to deal with a lot of what he mentioned, and I'll talk to him about that, whether it's guns or mental health. And so I hope the state's going to deliver on some of those. I know they already have with some of those things. So we appreciate their in session, and I hope that means that we've got support statewide to deal with these issues.
You know, kind of ironic, you know, that we have legislation trying to be passed in Santa Fe, and you just saw an individual from the city of Albuquerque, an everyday citizen that's frustrated the same exact way most people in Albuquerque are frustrated. The Albuquerque Police Department is not alone the solution. My officers arrest people over and over again. If the mayor could help us keep change processes, they would, but we can't. I urge everybody in Santa Fe trying to make a difference, working hard to make changes, I urge them, listen to the people of New Mexico. We are tired of crime. We are tired of the things that are occurring. We want change. And I hope that we can get a marvelous package with everybody working together to come back and address those issues. Because somebody who has individuals with mental health and substance abuse problems in their own family can tell you there is a lack of resources, not just in Albuquerque, but statewide, for families to be able to get their mental health services and everything that they need to succeed.
Good afternoon, everyone. Jody Escobar with the Community Safety Department. I do just want to pause and say thank you for the space to be able to operate, cooperate with these law enforcement agencies, because they've realized and understood that there's a space for us to operate here as well. And that's really important to understand, that not everybody is going to jail. Some people just need to talk to somebody and get connected to the right resource. And so I'm thankful that we've been able to capture those other folks too, and it's really important that we've been able to have that space. We're the leading the country in alternative response now with our department in the way that it is. And so we operate 24 hours a day for behavioral health response, and I think that that's something that Albuquerque can be proud of, as well as what we've done and been proactive about mental health in the city and our community.
Do we know at any time how many people were living here, and were there actually people who were staying at the hotel, like guests and stuff?
I can speak to the amount of numbers of folks that community safety engaged with, and that was 31 folks that were either living here or at the time of the operation that we were implemented. So we spoke with 31 individuals.
What have talks looked like with the property manager, maybe the property owner, and how do those talks continue now that the property's been shut down?
The question is, how do the talks go, I believe, with the property manager and such? They were interesting. Ultimately, we got the result that we wanted. This is a franchise, a corporate franchise, but it's a privately owned facility. And so with the cooperation of corporate, we made sure that we had access to the property. The property manager that has been here primarily presiding over this enterprise was long gone by the time we got here. And so by then we had already obtained the necessary clearances that we needed to come in and inspect all of the rooms.
Just to play devil's advocate, this one motel is being closed down. As we stand here, there's still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 motels around us. Do you guys feel that this specific closing is going to be the main, or do you feel that majority more of these are going to be concerned or have an inflow of the people that were coming from this hotel?
This hotel was by far the worst. There are some hotels very close to us here that are actually very clean, very properly managed, good places for people to stay, great freeway access, and very safe. So no, this hotel was not a reflection on the hotels that are next to it. Okay.
Do we have any other questions? All right. Thank you everybody for coming, and for the rest of you, we will give you a tour around just so we can allow for some additional B-roll. Thank you for coming.